Welcome to the Culture Ward, where we dissect and dismantle pop culture in all its forms. There are quite a few things going on in the world of pop culture this week, so I felt it was time to do another weekly wrap-up, our series where we look at the news without exerting too much effort. Today we'll talk briefly about the lackluster opening weekend of Tron ARES and its mixed reviews. So get ready to read the news with us on this edition of the Weekly Wrap-Up. Before we begin, please take a second to hit that subscribe button and help us grow the channel. As always, it really means a lot to us. And don't forget to like and share the video if you enjoy the content. And now, without further ado, let's get into it. So also this week, another sequel, prequel, reboot, legacy IP was released, Disney's Tron ARES. Promoted as a, quote, legacy sequel to 1982's Tron and 2010's Tron Legacy, it is a story set in the same universe, but with basically a whole new cast of characters that no one cares about, starring Jared Leto. Now, the original Tron was a groundbreaking sci-fi action film marking one of the earliest uses of CGI. Tron followed a computer programmer, Kevin Flynn, played by Jeff Bridges, who creates games for a company called Incom. When he's ousted from the company, he hacks into the mainframe looking for evidence of wrongdoing and is digitized and pulled into the virtual world controlled by an AI known as Master Control Program. Inside the computer, he teams up with a digital entity named Tron to battle the AI in gladiatorial combat and the iconic light cycle races. Ultimately, Flynn prevails and returns to the real world to take over Incom. And while the movie was a moderate financial success and even garnered a couple Academy Award nominations, it has since become known more as a cult classic than as a blockbuster hit. But its innovations in graphic storytelling, especially its use of CGI, have been an inspiration to many filmmakers and artists, including Pixar head John Lasseter. In 2010, a sequel was released, Tron Legacy. It picks up years after the original when Flynn's now adult son investigates his father's disappearance by entering the same digital grid. He finds his father, once again played by Jeff Bridges, stranded there, having created a utopian digital realm with his imperfect creation Clue, a digital clone of himself who's gone rogue and is trying to enter the real world for nefarious purposes. Flynn's son teams up with an ISO program named Quora to reunite with his father and thwart Clue's plans. The story delves into legacy, evolution, and the perils of digital immortality, and is helped along by a great soundtrack by Daft Punk and some pretty cool advanced 3D visuals, including a fully CG rendering of a younger Jeff Bridges for his digital clone Clue, using some cutting-edge digital effects. The movie was deemed a financial success, earning over $400 million worldwide, and although the critics were split, fans of the franchise generally appreciate the sequel, and even harsher critics praised its visuals. Anyway, in comes Tron ARES, the 2025 Legacy sequel. Not as a sequel to Legacy, per se, but a Legacy sequel in that it's a Tron movie set in the same universe as Tron and Tron Legacy, but without most of the characters, including, weirdly, Tron. That's right, the AI character Tron that lends his name to the entire franchise is completely absent from the latest Tron movie. Oh well, like Kylo Ren says.
Let the past die. Kill it if you have to.
The premise for ARES is actually pretty interesting. Instead of digitizing and sending real people into the mainframe as in previous entries, the company is able to now project AI programs, such as Jared Leto's character ARES, into the real world, where he's used as a sort of digital assassin. In the beginning, they're only able to materialize the virtual beings for about 29 minutes, and so much of the film seems to revolve around them trying to find some permanence code to keep these programs in the real world indefinitely. Now obviously there's a bad guy trying to unlock the code for nefarious purposes, and a good guy, or girl in this case, trying to beat the bad guys to it for noble purposes. And then there's ARES, the AI assassin, who grapples with his programmed directives, gradually becoming more human. Apparently Jeff Bridges returns as Flynn, but he's only in it for a few minutes of nostalgia bait. And so far, critics and audiences are kind of split on ARES. The kids might not remember, but Tron was once one of Disney's most innovative projects with big ideas, eye-popping visuals, and seriously rad light cycles that a generation thought might be awesome to ride in the near future. Now the best thing you can say about the flagging sci-fi franchise is that it sounds pretty cool. Tron ARES, rated 2 stars out of 4, is a light-up armored shell of its former self, an aggressively unremarkable combo of Pinocchio, Frankenstein, and generic disaster flick with Jared Leto as an exceedingly dull digital warrior. Beat-thumping techno songs and score by Nine Inch Nails help it all go down easier, as does original Tron guy Jeff Bridges duding up a few scenes, but traveling to that nifty high-tech landscape in this third Tron outing has become a chore rather than a pleasure. One would think that with artificial intelligence being on everyone's mind, a new Tron might be the vehicle to explore that theme in a nuanced, albeit entertaining fashion. Nah, ARES botches that too, starting with a digitized exposition dump to get everyone up to speed on what you need to know. So two tech companies, Dillinger Systems and Incom, are racing to see who can take the next step in using AI to change the world. And even if you don't know a darn thing about Tron mythology, they make the different sides clear. Incom CEO Eve Kim, played by Greta Lee, creates an orange tree with the use of technology, while rival honcho Julian Dillinger, played by Evan Peters, harnesses AI to make a war machine. One's about giving life, the other about destruction. Right. Neither of these corporations can keep a physical AI creation from dissolving into grainy black bits in 29 minutes. So when Eve cracks the permanence code, which makes them, yes, permanent, by using an old computer once owned by former Incom CEO Kevin Flynn, Jeff Bridges, Dillinger employs soldiers from the digital grid, including his master control main man, ARES, to nab it from her. ARES, though, is a malfunctioning program and yearns to be a real boy. When Eve winds up blasted into the digital world of the grid, they strike a deal. If ARES gets her back home, she'll help him become flesh and blood. But as soon as they return, a villainous armed force from the grid, including a ginormous flying tank-like recognizer, shows up to start wreaking havoc on the real world. The adventure has all the trappings that a Tron fan would want, from snazzy visuals like light-up discs and ARES surf speeder contraption, to passing references to previous films. None of them really assist a story that's straight up nonsensical, even if you're a hardcore Gen Xer with a Flynn Lives shirt who agrees with ARES that Depeche Mode is totally better than Mozart. It'd be one thing if there were so many whiz-bang sequences to make you forgive the odd plot point, but instead you're just left wondering things like how a laser can just make a human being. On the flip side, we've got a 4-star rating from Matt Zoller Sites on RogerEbert.com. He says Tron Ares is the second sequel to the 1982 original Tron, which was largely dismissed by critics during its initial release. The founder of this site stood apart from the majority, calling it, quote, a technological sound and light show that is sensational and brainy, stylish and fun, and awarded it 4 stars. So talking about Roger Ebert in 1982 really liked the original Tron. So according to this reviewer, the same description applies here, thus the equally high rating. Tron Ares is spectacularly designed, swiftly paced, thoughtfully written, and directed within an inch of its neon-hued life. The techno score by Nine Inch Nails, Trent Reznor, and Atticus Ross adds to the film's grandeur and imbues it with a philosophical, questioning undertone that is often intriguingly at odds with its kinetic transitions and geometry-fracturing action set pieces. The sum total is a rave of a movie that acts as its own hallucinogen, and that is best experienced on a huge screen with a state-of-the-art sound system. If they'd played it again right after I saw it for the first time, I would have gladly stayed in my seat. So, some people liked it, some people didn't. But as for financial success, well, that's also a mixed bag. Alright, Tron Ares eyes soft $35 million opening when the budget was actually $200 million. Start this off with an update. The budget keeps rising. THR reports it's a staggering $200 million. It looks like Tron Ares will have a tough time recouping its budget, especially since the original reporting of its budget being $140 million turned out to be untrue. Some are trying to see the glass half full. One producer told me that Disney sees the film less as a traditional movie and more as a $180 million commercial for its new Tron ride at Disney World. And if they can keep box office losses in check, the payoff could outweigh the risk. That seems to be the only justifiable reason the Mouse House would greenlight such an expensive Tron movie: to sell theme park tickets. Now sure, you might be thinking that these opening numbers are much higher than Paul Thomas Anderson's One Battle After Another, which had a similar budget and would have been celebrated as an immense success had it opened to $35 million, but Tron Ares isn't exactly poised to sweep the next Oscars. So Tron Ares tops box office but falls short of expectations with $33.5 million debut. So Tron Ares powered up the box office grid in the top spot this weekend, but Disney's third entry in the sci-fi franchise fell short of expectations. Despite some favorable reviews, including a 3 out of 4 star from the AP, the new Tron film starring Jared Leto, Greta Lee, and Jeff Bridges earned $33.5 million, according to ComScore estimates on Sunday. The big budget project, reported to cost around $150 million, arrived 15 years after Tron Legacy opened to $44 million, before grossing more than $400 million globally. Tron ARES was packed with action and nostalgia, but it wasn't enough to draw big numbers across more than 4,000 theaters. So it's been tough for that franchise to gain traction, for it to become a big mega franchise, said Paul, whatever that guy's name is, the senior media analyst for ComScore. He noted that the original Tron movie in 1982 initially struggled at the box office, but ultimately grew a cult following. That guy also said the international numbers could play a key role toward the film's profitability. Quote, "It still topped the box office," he said. "It picked a solid release date. All eyes are on big Disney film that is a huge brand, known and has been around for decades." Yeah, it kind of came in under expectations, only making $33.5 million in the US for I think a $60 million worldwide opening. So yeah, likely Tron is going to lose money for Disney, some of which may be offset by sparking interest in riding the Tron ride at Disney World, therefore maybe selling some more theme park tickets. I guess with a company like Disney, that may not be totally unreasonable. But anyway, in a year filled with nostalgia-fueled franchise overload, from 3 MCU entries, a remake of Snow White, a remake of Lilo and Stitch, Megan 2.0, 28 Weeks Later, Jurassic World, How to Train Your Dragon, Mission Impossible 8, Karate Kid, The Conjuring, Happy Gilmore, Naked Gun, and on, Tron ARES seemingly fails to make much of an impact, at least so far. Now maybe it'll have a great hold and great legs and go on to make a fortune and be hailed as the greatest of all time. But probably not. It's just another reboot of a sequel of a beloved movie from the before 4 times.
Clinging to the lie of the before 4 times.
But at least it kind of looks cool. And while Disney has mostly struggled at the box office this year, it did have a hit with Lilo and Stitch earlier and will likely make up all of its lost profits on Avatar in December, which is sure to make a cajillion dollars. So, good job, I guess. Anyway, what do you think? Are you going to go see Tron ARES? Are you excited about it? Let us know in the comments below. And that brings us to the end of another installment of the weekly wrap-up here in the Culture Ward. What did you think of the news stories? Are there other stories that we missed or ones that you want us to delve into next time? Let us know in the comments. As always, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Bye for now. We hope to see you next time in the Culture Ward.